Hey guys. I hope you guys are doing fine. Kind of I guess enjoying this nice weather outside. And all staying safe at home mainly. Um, my presentation is mental health and exercise. As you guys probably previously know that I'm a kinesiology major, but I have a lot of interest in working with older adults and how to promote exercise with different populations. And I think depression or mental health can has been a really research interest in the past couple of years as a grad student, and I've devoted a little bit of more time. So I hope you guys enjoy my presentation. I did it with a lot of effort and try to put as new as research on it. So I hope it goes really well. This is the first time that I ever do this, so sorry if you guys don't understand. Please send me questions if you guys have some questions or um, in critiques or whatever. So let's go. Some of the stuff we already touched base on Tuesday um, with Dr. Bailey. Kind of like a review. There is over 46 million older adults in the United States. Some data that it's always good to know. As we know, this is kind of the baby boomers era, so we're looking to keep increasing the amount of older adults that we interact with and we kind of like live with. Um, Mental health wise, older men have the highest suicide rate for of any age group. So yes, mental health is a thing, in not only older adults but across all the lifespan. And in a little bit of Manhattan data, there's only 7.5% of the population in Manhattan, Kansas, that are older adults. Of course, having K State, it's a really high college student town. So that's probably not super impressive. Um, Most common conditions of mental health are anxiety, as we already know, severe cognitive impairments like trouble remembering things, learning new things, concentrating and decision making. We have touched base on that in this like previous weeks before we went on spring break. Another mental health issues are mood disorders, so like depression and bipolar disorders. Um, Especially depression, it's pretty prevalent within older adults. Can lead to social and physical impairments, increase the intake of medicines. As we know, older adults might have already other disease or chronic disease that they already, take medications or have under control. So having depression increase or just um, yeah, I guess increase the intake of those medications. So they're already having trouble remembering. So kind of like really more things. Um, and then, of course, with that come more frequently visits to doctors or emergency rooms. An interesting data that I found from the CDC was that 80% of the cases of older adults' depression are treatable. So that's kind of a good thing, at least I guess on my point of view, like gives me hope of like, okay, it's not is bad, but it's approachable and it's something that we can deal with as health professionals. Um, this is something from kind of reviewing from Tuesday's lecture. Some treatments are for depression or mental health issues are therapy, so talk therapy or psychotherapy and cognitive therapy. And then, of course, medications like antidepressants, so XY medicines to boost serotonin, for example, or um, mood in general. Preventing depression. I know we've touched base on this as well, but as I grow older, I'm not saying that I'm like on my 50s, but having being exposed to these moments and somehow like getting along with older adults have put me on this like mentality of like how do I prepare for my older years. So of course try to prepare for major changes in life like retirement, moving from your home to of many years. Stay in touch with your family and friends, find a hobby, eat a balanced diet, regular exercise. which is really what we're going to talk about today. But really, there's some adjustments that we can make, like as younger or as growing up um, to adulthood, basically. And why not take action now? Why not make some of those adjustments now? That then, when we get older, they're not as complicated as other stuff, because we're gonna just probably deal with other major stuff. So what is exercise? And I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but the American College of Sport Medicine define exercise as a type of physical activity consisting of planned, structured, and repetitive bodily movements done to improve and or maintain one or more components of physical fitness. Physical fitness components are cardiovascular health, strength, and basically just general quality of life outcomes, but really, really focus on cardiovascular and strength health. Um, Exercise and physical activity in older adults. The ACSM, or Academy of Sports Medicine, recommend 150 minutes of moderate to intensity aerobic physical activity throughout the week. So this 150 minutes can be spread on 30 minutes every day, 5 days a week, or however you really want. At least 70, or it can be also at least 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity throughout the week. When it says vigorous, just for kind of like, kind of like not theoretical, but some like technical terms, it's just that activity that really increases your heart rate, gets you closer to your heart rate max. So it's really like you're sweating, you're pumping blood, you are like getting at it. Moderate intensity is a little bit of more controlled, like walking, even speed walking for us younger people can be moderate intensity. Vigorous is, I would say, running, something like that. And then, like I mentioned, an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activities. So sometimes you can just go for a walk, or other times you can just really go for a run. So older people tend to, of course, get their heart rate for like increase for really no or very, very decent for us activity. So really climbing up a stairs can be really vigorous activities for them. So having that in mind, I researched some activities that can help prevent depression. So we'll go into a little bit of research. So there's this paper called Treatment of Minor Depression in Older Adults. It's a pilot study comparing sertraline and exercise. So sertraline, it's a serotonin booster. It's really commonly prescribed as an antidepressant. This is a research from 2007, so it's not that far behind. So kind of general information about the study: exercise program efficacy, in older adults with minor depression. They had 37 participants. It was a 16-week long study. And they divide the participants in 3 groups. So exercise group with the antidepressant, and a usual care, which kind of be the control group. People in the exercise group, where this was a randomized trial, by the way. But people in this exercise group would do exercise 3 times per week for 16 weeks that lasted an hour, and it was a combination of aerobic training and resistance training, with a 5-minute warm-up, 15-minute aerobic phase, 20-minute resistance training, and 15-minute aerobic phase again, and then a 5-minute cool down. And the target tar rate basically was 50 to 85%. So it was pretty intense. So some results. We can see here that, hope you can see my pointer, but we can see that definitely the evaluation of a Hamilton Depression Rating Scale, which is one of the most used methods for measuring depression in older adults, which we mentioned on Tuesday, you can definitely see a decline in depression symptoms. So, which is a good thing. Even though exercise, which is really what I'm focused here, had really good outcomes or really lowered the depression symptoms, usual care or just general care also had a lot of really outcomes. So if you guys will look into the are interested in looking at the paper, you will find kind of like, oh, exercise did lower depression, but really just usual care did a lot better. But for just like specific project, I really focus on the exercise part. A little bit of more research-based researches from 2003 and its fitness effects on the cognitive function of older adults, and it's a meta-analysis study. They studied research from 1966 to all the way to 2001. The main hypothesis of this group of psychologists was the aerobic fitness training enhanced the cognitive vitality of healthy sedentary older adults. So we went from mostly people that are already active or somehow have XY like type of depression. They already go to like their therapist and stuff like that. They're already being taken care of, to fully sedentary people. So they really just don't do a lot of physical activity. The study interests effects of exercise on cognitive processes identified by the four. So these people had theoretical positions. They evaluated speed. I don't know how to say this word really, but I'm really trying my best. I've heard Google a couple of times now, but visual spatial. So it's really the relative of objects among the space. So how do you perceive like how close or far the objects are from you? Controlled processing and executive control. Speed was one of those like reaction time or reaction capacities of the subjects, and the other ones really just explained by themselves. Some results are basically really clear here. I selected this was one of the easiest to explain table. Sorry if this is just the wind, if you can hear that in the far back. So they selected a task and just really improving quality of life in this research more than anything. So yes, there is a really increase on the exercise group compared to just really control or like just people that just general sedentary people. So yes, the people that was exposed to exercise have definitely really good outcomes. And exercise group involved a really wide range of activities, from walking to dancing and circuit training. But the cited from the paper, the groups were pretty much like equally divided, so it's pretty fair for everyone. And then the last study that it might not be really like a lot of data, but I think it's kind of like a really great study to talk about, because it's one of the recent research that I found is from 2019, and it's really it's a study protocol. Mainly, is not really an intervention, but it really points out where are we standing, and it kind of points out where are we going, what should we do as if this is a type of intervention that we would like to do further on, in order to get like really more research data basically for this type of people. As we already know, and we have mentioned before, Um,